You ever wonder what would happen if Josh from Drake and Josh got trapped in an ATM with two other dummies and got hunted down? No? Too bad. Meet David, an accomplished pencil pusher at a stockbroker firm. How accomplished?
I just move around some numbers.
Well, he even has his own catchphrase. He seems to be having a bad day, losing millions of dollars on behalf of a client, so he thinks about heading home. However, his friend Corey quickly reminds him about tonight's Christmas party, and that it's his last chance to talk to his crush, Emily, before she leaves for a new job. Corey mocks David for all his previous attempts at picking her up, quoting such memorable lines as, "Are you an electrician? Because you're turning me on." Ooh, I just cringed. Nah, not really, but it's clear that David isn't the most charismatic person, so he struggles to talk to hot girls. Or any girls for that matter. Relatable. That evening, at the Christmas party, we see David locking eyes with Emily. After a short while, he finally builds up the courage to go talk to her again. But the conversation doesn't seem to be going as planned. "Would you like to see my fedora collection?" And after only just a moment, it sees his untimely demise.
That's pretty cool.
Heck yeah, it was cool. You got her to leave the party after 20 seconds of talking to you. That's gotta be some kind of record. Determined as ever, he follows her out to the road and finally asks her out on a proper date. Because of this, she misses her taxi, so he offers to give her a lift home. Ah, I see what you did there. Big brain. No, you don't have to. I actually live really far away from here. However, David insists that he takes her.
That would be great.
He quickly runs inside the office to let the boys know what happened. "Yeah, I'm just giving Emily a ride home. No big deal."
Congrats, Playboy.
Absolute Chad. As David's about to leave, Corey reminds him that David was his ride home. David tries to get him to take a taxi, but no one has any spare cash for him. Come on, dude. Don't be a cock block. Being the good friend that he is, David gives in and agrees to drive him home too. As they're driving down the freeway on their way to Corey's house, they all decide to go grab some pizza to satiate their midnight cravings, of course. Though, the pizza shop they plan on raiding only accepts cash, so they have to stop at an ATM to withdraw some. Heh, what is this, the 1600s? Regardless, they stop at the ATM and Corey goes to withdraw his money. In the car, David and Emily share quite a romantic moment. "You have the most gorgeous feet I've ever seen." Then, they're interrupted when Corey waves at David from the ATM, signaling him to come over. He gets out of the car and runs over to Corey, leaving Emily alone. But she quickly grows impatient and decides to go to the ATM too. She tries to lock the car, but it doesn't seem to work. "Well, I guess I'll just leave this car unlocked in the middle of this empty parking lot." I mean, I guess normally it wouldn't be a big deal, but considering the fact we're in a movie, well, yeah. Emily asks David why he's withdrawing money, and he explains that Corey's card wasn't working.
Don't embarrass me for that, Emily.
Having withdrawn money for their pizza, they go to leave the ATM, but they quickly spot a cloaked man staring directly at them. Perhaps he's just going for a midnight walk. I mean, why else would someone stand in the middle of a parking lot at 1 a.m. in the morning on Christmas Eve? Well, I think you guys can imagine where this is going. Corey decides this is too spooky for him and opens the door to leave, but the cloaked man immediately starts walking towards them, and as he does, Corey gets shook. He heads back inside to cower like a little baby. Suddenly, they hear the sound of a dog barking in the distance. The cloaked man walks up to the dog's owner and attacks him, leaving him on the ground, sleeping. Realizing the severity of their situation, the three friends start panicking. Having all left their phones in the car, they search the ATM trying to find a panic button, but there isn't any. Meanwhile, the cloaked man shifts back into his alpha stance as he watches them. Is it just me, or is this guy giving off some less than cozy vibes? Corey plans to run out to the car to get his phone, but the cloaked man sees what they're doing. He opens the trunk of the car and pulls out David's toolbox. We should really give this guy a name.
My name is Jeff.
Okay, Jeff it is. Alright, so Jeff walks around to the back of the ATM and shuts off the power. At the same time, Emily spots the fire alarm and then the trap trio plan to trigger it, in hopes of being rescued by some rugged, muscular firemen, of course. While they're figuring out how to trigger it, luck strikes as a police car appears in the distance. They bang on the glass but fail to call any attention their way. The cop simply drives off. David plans to give Jeff money to get him to leave them alone, and asks Corey to withdraw some for him. Oh shit, that's right, I'm broke. Anyway, they end up getting some money by other means, and David plans to use it to cause a diversion before running away in the other direction. But we see that Jeff is still behind the ATM and hears the whole conversation. David opens the door and Jeff walks in front of him. Yeah, here's $5. Could you please leave us alone? Thank you. And as he picks it up, he sprints to the car. He fails to unlock the driver's seat door, so he runs around to the passenger side and opens it from there. Inside the car, he tries to turn it on with the key, but can't seem to get it in. Relatable. Before he can call for help, Jeff smashes in the window, and David is forced to leave the car and run back to the ATM. Meanwhile, Jeff opens the trunk of the car and puts David's wallet and phone, that he stole from his jacket, inside. This guy is way too good. Back in the ATM, Emily decides to get creative and does some lipstick painting on the glass. Such immaculate calligraphy, I might add. As they get deeper into the increasingly frigid night, Emily remembers something that she saw on Facebook. Apparently, if you enter your PIN code backwards, it alerts the police. However, Corey quickly points out that this is just an urban legend.
What if her PIN is like 4224? You're screwed.
Huh, yeah, that's right. See, this is why you don't trust everything you read on the internet. A little later, Corey turns around and realizes that Jeff isn't there anymore. So, he decides to make a run for it, though he is ultimately talked out of it by the other two. Then, they contemplate about their captor.
Why is he doing this?
Corey brings up David's client from earlier. You know, the one that supposedly lost millions of dollars because of David?
Look, he knew I was putting all the money in Dogecoin. He was okay with it. He knew the risks.
Suddenly, their conversation is interrupted when they spot the police car from before. And this time, the officer actually notices them and drives over. Oh, great. It's just a security guard.
So what?
You can't do shit to stop this guy.
Let's just hope this guy's more competent than Paul Blart. Actually, wasn't Paul Blart kind of a badass? Someone jog my memory in the comments, please. The officer gets out of his car and walks over to what he probably thinks is three friends getting freaky in an ATM. The panicked trio tries to warn him about Jeff, but he can't hear them through the glass, which is conveniently soundproof. But that's okay, the officer stumbles upon the body, and now he just needs to call for backup. Uh-oh. Good night, sleep tight. Inside the ATM, the cold has gotten to Emily, as she is completely disoriented and speaking gibberish. Something David wished he had caused by other means. You get it? Suddenly, hey. Seizing the moment, David and Corey jump his stupid ass.
Fight back! Fight back! Fight back!
Now free to go, they prepare to leave, before seeing another cloaked man watching them. The real Jeff. Realizing that they just killed an innocent man, they freak out. They rummage through the body and find his wallet. Ah, damn, he had a wife and kids. They all share a moment of silence for accidentally team killing.
What is he doing here?
I don't know. Why were you? See how dumb you sound? David and Corey start fighting over who put them in this situation. And as their argument grows more intense, Corey decides to leave the ATM out of anger.
I'm not ready to die!
They try talking him out of it, but he insists on getting out of there and embracing his dreams of becoming a sprinter.
I don't think you have any idea how fast I really am.
Eager to save his friend, David prepares to run out there, but Emily begs him not to leave her alone. Seeing as Emily begging is David's fantasy, he complies. Simp. Or not. Okay. I misread you, David. You're a good man. Though, just as he's about to leave, he sees Jeff quickly approaching Corey and whips out. Jeff plunges a needle into Corey's chest while David and Emily fall to the ground in complete disbelief of what's happening. Well, that's not the kind of penetration I had in mind for tonight, but okay. David and Emily talk for quite a while, sharing their emotions and feelings. Lame. Things heat up, and just as they're about to kiss, David gets epically cock-blocked by Jeff, who starts banging on the back of the ATM. Come on, dude, just let me have this one W for tonight, please. Suddenly, the pair jump up in shock as Corey can be seen crawling over to the ATM. Taking advantage of the fact that Jeff is behind the ATM, they quietly open the door and sprint over to their friend. Then, they head back inside so they can all die together. True friendship. However, before they make it back, Jeff realizes what's happening and starts chasing them. But
My leg.
he slips on a banana peel or something, giving the trio just enough time to re-enter their glass coffin. Inside the ATM, the two friends try to stop Corey's bleeding, but quickly remember that their medical experience consists of Googling symptoms and overreacting. Well, I think that covers at least 99% of the human population. Well, at least the ones that have internet. Suddenly, Corey starts seizing on the ground as the ATM begins flooding with freezing cold water. Damn, Jeff, that's cold. Okay, that was really corny, I'm sorry. Anyway, David and Emily try to lift Corey up, but he's kinda heavy. But at least he's not quite the chunker he used to be. Moving on, David snatches a lighter, lights this bin ablaze, and desperately tries to trigger the fire alarm. Unfortunately, he's a manlet. Same. To solve this, Emily hops on his shoulders while holding the bin, and she actually manages to trigger the alarm. And dies in the process. Man, there's like a lot of falling in this movie. Rip in peace. Now consumed by sorrow, David cradles Emily's lifeless body before some more random shit happens. An enraged David spots Jeff watching on in the distance. Determined to avenge the deaths of his pals, he throws together a Molotov and chucks it to Jeff. Oh, that ain't him. David really fell for the fake Jeff gag again. Shortly after, the police arrive to the scene and promptly arrest poor David. By the morning, the car park is filled with emergency services, a forensics team, and a lot of news reporters. David looks out to the crowd where he sees dozens of people wearing the same cloak as Jeff. Sus. As the police check back on the recovered security camera footage, we see that Jeff had perfectly planned his crime, never showing up once in the footage, and successfully framing David for everything. A few days later, we see Jeff in a storage room as he sits down at his table and starts plotting future crimes on other ATMs in the city. I mean, it's creative, I'll give him that. And that's how you make a whole movie with about $5.